Hey everyone, Val here, and we've picked the last of the tomatoes out of our garden. Steve has taken the garden down, pulled everything out, and I have some work to do this afternoon. So this is the green tomatoes that were left in the garden. He picked all of those. We had a couple of green peppers left, not really enough to say anything about. I went to the store and got a little bit of lime juice, some fresh garlic. I had this onion cut, and I have these onion and sweet peppers cut, so I'm going to use those. We bought some jalapenos. They're not large, but there's enough there that'll give it a little spice. We're going to make some salsa verde, some green tomato salsa. I have some sweet peppers here. I have some white distilled vinegar, and going to get some olive oil, and we're going to start processing this, putting it in jars. We don't want to let anything go to waste from the garden. These tomatoes are small, as you can see, but you know, every little small one adds up. So there are a couple larger ones in here. We're just going to use them all. So let's get started. Let's make some salsa. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove all the stems from the tomatoes and put the tomatoes in the water to wash them and drain them good, and then we'll cut them. So let me get this done, and we'll come back to our next step. Okay, everything is washed. I'm gonna start by cutting my green peppers and my chilies, and I'm gonna put them in the food processor. I have a little tiny food processor here, and chop them up to make smaller chunks, and then we'll cut the tomatoes into smaller chunks. So I am going to get all the seeds out. Oops. Make a mess, because that's what I do best. Alright. Okay. So, change the angle a little bit. I'm just going to cut these in four, put them in there. Just dice them up a little, make smaller pieces out of them. Okay, that one little piece didn't chop, but that's okay. We'll put that in with the next batch. Alright, so I'm going to continue on like this, and I'm going to cut my chilies and take the seeds out of those, and then I'm going to chop those up a little bit and put them in the other pan, and then we'll get ready to do the green tomatoes. Alright, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to just cut the seeds out of the jalapeno. And I'm going to dice them just so they're small pieces. We're going to end up dicing anyway. So we're going to leave a few chunks in the salsa, but we're not going to make it extra chunky. So once it cooks down a little bit, we're going to end up using the the hand blender to blend it in the pot, and I think I have too many in there. So let me do a few of those. Got a couple more left, and then Steve's already started on the tomatoes. We're gonna finish up the tomatoes and we'll take it over to the stove and start cooking them down. And I did wash all of these along with the tomatoes. I washed all the tomatoes, all the peppers. I've washed everything. Okay, so I have all the jalapenos and the green peppers done. I'm going to chop up my onion pieces, and these are some sweet peppers that I bought earlier this year, or earlier, like last month. So I'm going to put some sweet peppers in it too. So, you know what, I might just use them all. So I'm going to cut these up also, throw them in the chopper, chop those up a little bit, and we're going to cook those down with the tomatoes. So, got a little bit in there already. Let's chop. Like I said, I don't want it too fine. Just want a little chunky, but it'll cook up faster if I cut it up. Yeah, should be fine. Alright, let me continue with my onions and my peppers, and then we can move on to the garlic. Okay, all the onions and green peppers and jalapeno peppers are done. So I have my garlic here, and I forgot the disclaimer on this that we've never made this before, and this is our first attempt. And what we did was we looked up a couple of recipes on the internet, and I'm using a couple different versions and kind of putting them together.
She's winging it.
So
what she's saying is she's winging it.
We're kind of wanging it here. So I'm going to pull out.
So can we call it winging it Salsa Verde?
Winging it our way. We're rocking it our way. So I'm going to throw some fresh garlic in here. So I'm going to take, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these cloves. I'm just going to break this down, put that over there, and see what we can do with it. No, you're supposed to wang it.
Good, that's what you can call it.
Winging it.
Wang it. Wang it salsa. Instead of an I, use an A. Wang it salsa.
That one already winged. Alright. So we've got our garlic here chopped up pretty good. We'll chop it up more.
Crush it.
I'm gonna throw that in there.
Crush it.
Smells good too. I just do a little chops on it. Yeah, that little piece of that one's fine. That'll get cooked down. It'll cook down. It's all going over to the bowl. Alright. Be right back with you. Steve has most of the tomatoes cut already. So just what we're doing is we're just cutting them into, if they're small, 4 pieces is good. Just taking the little stem piece out because I don't want that in there. And so we're cutting them like that, just into littler pieces.
Cut out the bad spots.
Yeah, if there's any bad spots, these don't have bad spots on them, but if there's any bad spots, we are cutting the bad spots out. So this one's a little bit larger. I've cut it into 3 pieces on one side. Do 3 pieces on the other side. Alright, so that's basically how we're doing the tomatoes. That one seems like it has a bad spot in it, so I'll take that out. That doesn't look too bad. And we're keeping the seeds in it, because the littler tomatoes don't have a whole lot of seeds anyway. But like I said, this is our first attempt. We'll see how it turns out. We'll give it a taste test when we're done. Hopefully it'll be good. And we'll let you know if this works. Alright, let me get this finished up. Okay, so we have everything cut, as you can see, all the onions and peppers and tomatoes in there. I actually filled up 2 bowls full of that. So I'm gonna put, I have some olive oil here. This is extra virgin olive oil. And I'm gonna put some in the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and start to cook this up. I'm going to put this on like a medium-low heat to start, maybe on a 3. I have a gas stove here. So let me put in, and we're not sauteing these, but we're going to just cook these down. All my onions and my peppers in the pot. And like I said, we didn't measure anything. We're just kind of winging it. Just to use up the extra tomatoes that we had in the garden, the green tomatoes. So we're just going to add stuff to this as it cooks down to taste. So we're going to let this warm up. I'm going to add some vinegar in there. This is distilled white vinegar. I'm going to put some lime in there. This is the lime juice. Alright, I'm going to start with that. And then I have some Himalayan pink salt. And I'm going to salt it down a little bit. Okay. Give this a mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on low heat. Put a cover on it. And let it cook down a little bit. And we'll come back and check this, oh, let's say in 10 minutes. Okay, our 10 minutes is up. Looks to be cooking down nicely. You can see it. I'm going to leave it in there and I'm going to let it to continue to cook. And let's go another 10 minutes. And while it's cooking, I'm going to go grab me some pint jars because we're going to can this up into some pint jars. Alright, 20 minutes. I'm going to cut it down to low, to a simmer. Ooh, you can really smell those peppers in there. I actually think that's looking really, really good. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to grab my emulsion blender and see if I can blend that up a little bit better. Alright, I have my emulsion blender here. Going to plug it in behind you all. And let me I do want to keep a few chunks in it, but I'm going to blend up a lot of the bigger chunks. I'm actually going to cut this off because I think this is cooked, well cooked. Ooh, you should smell it. Smell those chilies in there. Alright, so basically what I was trying to do was just get the bigger chunks out of it. I still want some chunks in it. So it's got a pretty good consistency. Now the only thing we're going to have to worry about is the taste. Couple chunks there. Let me get those. Alright. Alright, so we're going to set this up to get this, go ahead and get this jarred. So I'm going to come back and we should be ready to jar this up. Alright, all of our jars are washed. We're getting ready to put it into the jars. So I think it turned out pretty good. I don't know how much we'll have, but
it smells good.
Oop.
Nope, we're filled. Sorry. Leave it to Steve, huh?
Alright, we're hot packing the jars, which is putting it in hot. We're not going to process it at all.
Enough?
No. Are we going to process it?
I don't. If they seal, we won't need to.
Alright, so that's what it looks like.
We're hoping the hot packing will seal on their hot pack on their own. We won't have to do any of that other. Smells good.
It does smell good. We didn't put any sugar in it. I don't think that we're going to need sugar. We try not to have too much sugar in our foods anyway. So we went without any sugar. We did a sugar-free version. Just wiping off the rim of the jar here so that I get a good seal on it. It's not that hot. Nice.
Small jar.
Not available. Just put it in there. We'll put it in the refrigerator and try it. All right, we've decided we're putting it in a hot bath, and we're going to let it boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to let it boil for 20 minutes, and then let it should seal from there. Okay, I think they all sealed as soon as I took them out of the water. We got 7 pints of the Salsa Verde. It's looking wonderful. Very happy with it. So want to thank you all for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want to. And I will catch you on the next video. Bye now.
Popping right away.
Yeah, they all popped. They all just popped.